हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरम् भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय। 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 नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We shall chant the mantras of the 6th section from the second mantra. Tasmai sahovacha ihaivantas sharire somya sapurusho yasmin eta shodashakala prabhavanti iti. स ईशांश्चक्रे कस्मिन्नहम् उत्क्रांतो भविष्यामि कस्मिन् वा प्रतिष्ठिते प्रतिष्ठास्यामीति. So the sixth question asked by Sukesha Bharadwaja, कि क्वासो Purusha iti, who is this Purusha? Who is this Purusha with 16 kalas? So the teacher replies that Purusha is within this body itself. Tasmai saho vacha iha eva antasharire somya sa Purushaha yasmin eta shodashakala prabhavanti iti. The shodashakala Purusha is in this body itself, in whom these 16 kalas are born. Then the teacher explains how these 16 kalas were born. So Sa Ishan Chakre, that Purusha, he thought what are the various factors I should produce. What is that which, having left, I will also seem to have left? And what is that, if it remains, I will also remain? So the whole creation which we see in front of us, it has come from this Param Purusha only. That Param Purusha alone is indicated as Brahma in the Upanishad, as Bhagavan, as Paramatma, as Ishvara. In various ways, that Param Purusha is indicated, from whom this entire creation has come into existence. See, if any effect is there, there must be some cause for it. And generally, there are two types of causes. One is the material cause, and another is the efficient cause. For example, a clay pot is made. The clay is the material cause, and the pot maker is the efficient cause. So this world which is created, what is the material cause of this world and what is the efficient cause of this world? The Upanishads, they say that Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Anandam Brahma alone is both the material cause as well as the efficient cause. So from the standpoint of the world, we call that Brahma as the cause. But if we focus our attention on that Brahma, then other than Brahma, nothing is there. So even this language of something being created is only a relative language. For example, this pot. When we look at this pot, Then we say it is born, it is created from clay. So, from the standpoint of the pot, clay is the cause. But if we focus our attention only on the clay, then nothing is created because clay remains clay all the time. So when we say a pot is created, it is just a form having a different name. But from the standpoint of the essence, nothing is born. Similarly, from the standpoint of Brahma, nothing is born. But from the standpoint of the world, when we look at it, then we say world is born, world is sustained, world get dissolved. And that is how the Upanishad leads us from the world to that Supreme Brahma. We have to recognize that Supreme Brahma as our own inner self. Once that is done, then our job is over. We become free from this bondage of Dvaita, duality. Now we experience duality. I experience myself within this body, and I experience this world outside. So, from this standpoint, the scriptures, the Shastras lead me towards that vision of oneness. Atmaika drishti, Atma ekatva drishti, that Atma is one alone. There are no divisions of any kind. So, in order to point out that Brahma, first the Shastras point out that Brahma is the cause of this world. So, through the world, that Brahma is pointed out. So, world is not non-existent. World is that Brahma alone, which appears like the world. Like this pot. Pot is not non-existent. Pot is not an illusion. Pot is not some strange factor. Pot is nothing but clay in a particular shape, in a particular form. Now, if we look at this pot, if I ask you, what is this? Is it a pot or is it clay? If I ask you to choose any one of these answers, is it a pot or is it clay? What do you say? Is it a pot or is it clay? What is the answer? What do you say? It has got, okay, you are saying clay. So when you say clay, is it not a pot? It is a pot also. If you say it is a pot, is it not clay? It is clay also. So this pot cannot be indicated in one term. You cannot call it a pot. You cannot call it clay. Therefore, it is called, it is anirvachaniyam. It is indescribable. The world which we see in front of us, the Shastras call it indescribable, anirvachaniyam. Why it is anirvachaniyam? Shankaracharya ji says, is tattva anyatvabhyam anirvachaniyam. That it is anirvachaniyam because it cannot be indicated as the tattva or as different from that tattva. Means this pot cannot be indicated as clay because there is something more to that clay, something extra. And what is that extra? A shape, a form. But that form cannot exist without clay. Form cannot exist without clay. But one can look at this pot from the standpoint of its form and from the standpoint of its essence. And that is a great difference. When we look at this world, we can look at it from the standpoint of its effect and from the standpoint of its cause. So when we just focus on its effect, we see it changing, we see it having different characteristics. But when we understand the essence, then we will know that that essence itself is seen as this world. What we know as the world is Brahma. Only to understand this world as world is not complete knowledge. We have to understand this world as Brahma. Then only that understanding is complete. Otherwise, it is incomplete, not proper. So this is all it is. So this whole world has come from that one supreme Brahma, which by itself is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Anandam. And to point this out, here the teacher says that Purusha, he thought and he created this world. So how, in what order did he create? What are the 16 kalas of this Purusha? That is indicated now in the next mantra, mantra number 4. Sapranam ashrujat pranat shraddham kham vayuhu jyotihi apah prithvi indriyam manah annam annad viryam tapah mantraha karma loka lokeshu cha nama cha. Again, sapranam ashrujata pranat shraddham kham vayuhu jyotihi apah prithvi indriyam manah annam annad viryam tapah mantraha karma lokaha lokeshu cha nama cha. So from that supreme Purusha, that Supreme Purusha, Sa Pranam Ashrujata, first created Prana. Prana is born first. See, we have seen in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, that Supreme Ishvara has his power, Prakriti, and he has this twofold Prakriti, Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. So that Para Prakriti is Prana and Apara Prakriti is eightfold. So this Prana, Para and Apara Prakriti together is Avyakrita. Avyakrita, Maya, which is not different from Ishvara. The Shakti of Ishvara is not different from Ishvara. Ishvara and Shakti are one only. But in order to explain to us, the Shakti is spoken about as though different. And the whole explanation is given. And thereafter, the oneness is pointed out. So from that Param Purusha, the Param Purusha, he created Prana. And with the creation of Prana, the sense of I is born. See, in that Supreme Purusha, in that Brahma, there is no I, there is no you, there is no he, she, it, there is no space, there is no air, nothing is there. That alone is there. Even in Srimad Bhagavat Puran, it is said, Bhagavan himself teaches Brahmaji. He says, Aham eva asam eva agre, nanyat sadasat param. That before this creation, I alone was there. Nothing other than me was there. I alone was there. And even after this creation, I alone am there. So from that Purusha first manifested Prana. And through that Prana, that Purusha, when he expresses, there is this sense of I. The Kshetrajna, that Antaratma is born. Shankaracharya ji, he writes, कि स पुरुषः उक्त प्रकारेण ईक्षित्वा, that Purusha, having contemplated in the way it is mentioned in the previous mantra, Pranam, he created Prana. But he is always present there in that Prana also. So that Purusha expressing through Prana is Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbhakyam, Sarva Prani Karana Adharam, who is the very support of all the beings, who is of the nature of Antaratma, the inner self of all. So Karana Adharam Antaratmanam Ashrujata Shrishtavam. So the prana was born. See, it is not very mysterious. It can be understood if we can contemplate on our experiences, our sushupti avastha. When I am in sushupti avastha, in deep sleep, dreamless sleep, what is there? Nothing is there. Nothing is there means I alone am there. There is no world. There are no other beings. There is no space. There is no time. Aham eva asam. I alone am there. Nothing else is there. And when I wake up, I start expressing through the pranas, and I experience the sense of I. And when I experience the sense of I also experience the sense of this. I start experiencing something different from this I. I the seer, I the knower, I the doer. And I experience the objects of my knowledge. I experience the body, the mind, the world. So this sense of I which we have is that inner Atma, Pratyek Kshetrajna. Who is that Kshetrajna? It is that some same Param Purusha expressing through prana. So that was born first. And then thereafter, everything else was created. So here the sequence is given, but at present when we look at the world, the entire world is already been created, everything is there. But the sequence is mentioned so that we understand how to trace ourselves back to that Purusha. Just like when we buy a car, so many parts are there. And we get this car properly assembled. But if you go to the car factory, you will find that the car is assembled in different stages. So similarly, this whole world which we see, it expresses in a particular way. So here the sequence is indicated very beautifully. So once the prana is created, then from that prana, Shraddha is born. Ataha pranat Shraddham. Shraddha is born. What is Shraddha? Shraddha is faith. And what is that? Shankaracharya ji writes कि सर्व प्राणिनाम शुभ कर्म प्रवृत्ति हेतु भूताम. It is that which propels us into good actions. Shraddha propels us into good actions. It propels us into action. So when we are born with our own samskars, which propel us into various activities, our desires, our vasanas, they propel us into various activities. So that is indicated here as Shraddha. So pranat Shraddham Sarva Praninam Shubha Karma Pravritti Hetu Bhutam. It propels us into Shubha Karma. So we are what our Shraddha is. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan talks about three types of Shraddha: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. And he also says that Shraddha Mayo Ayam Purusha. This person, this entity, this individual is of the nature of Shraddha. In which direction my life will go, what type of actions I will perform, how I will interact with different objects and beings and situations in the world, how I will accept the results which I get. Everything depends on my Shraddha. So Shraddha gives me a vision. Shraddha gives me an attitude. Shraddha gives me those values. If my Shraddha is tamasic, then that leads me into some negative path. What is tamasic Shraddha? Having Shraddha in Bhuta, Preta, in objects, in matter, or in some very low negative forces. Shraddha at a very low level. Then there is Rajasic Shraddha in power, in fame, in name, in Yaksha, Rakshasa. So those Rajasic Shraddha leads us in a different way altogether. Then there are those who have Sattvic Shraddha, Shraddha in the Devata, Shraddha in Ishvara, Shraddha in good values. Shraddha in good values like Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shanti. Shraddha in the Shastras, Shraddha in the teacher. That is Sattvic Shraddha. If we have Sattvic Shraddha, our life will move in a different way. It will move towards moksha only. So here Shankaracharya ji talks about that Sattvic Shraddha. सर्व प्राणिनाम शुभ कर्म प्रवृत्ति हेतु भूताम, which propels all beings in performing shubha karma. That is Shraddha. तथा कर्म फल उपभोग साधना अधिष्ठानानि कारणभूतानि महाभूतानि अश्रुगत. But that Shraddha is there, the desire to perform action is there. For that we require equipment. We require a body. We require the senses. We require the mind. Then only the action will happen. Suppose you have the SIM card. So if you want to use that SIM card, you need an instrument, a phone, in which you can put that SIM card and then operate the phone. Similarly, the desire, this Shraddha is there, whether sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. We need equipment to function. So body is required, senses are required, mind is required. And in order to have this body, the cause of this body, the material of this body are the 5 great elements. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. So Purusha, from this Shraddha, created the 5 great elements. Karma, phala, upabhoga, sadhana. Sadhana, adhishthanani, karanabhutani, mahabhutani ashrujata. The great 5 elements were created. What are the 5 elements which were created? Kham. Kham means Akash, having Shabda Gunam, having the quality of Shabd. Akash was born. Akash was born. Akash was created. Space. The most fascinating space. Space is also part of creation. Many times some thinkers think that space is already there, in which world is created. That is not true. Space is also part of creation. Before creation, there was no space. So space is subtlest. And the characteristic of space is Shabd, sound. So Kham, Shabda Gunam. Then from space, Vayu was born. Air. Vayum Svena Sparshena Karana Gunena Cha Vishishtam Dvigunam. So space, the Vayu has got its own quality of sparsha. And it also carries the quality of its cause, the space. So that is Shabda. So Vayu has got 2 qualities, Sparsha and Shabda. Tatha Jyotihi, then from that Vayu, Jyoti, fire was born, which has Svena Rupena. It has got its own quality of Rupa. And Purvabhyam cha Visishtam Trigunam Shabda Sparshabhyam. And the previous two gunas of the Akash and Vayu. So fire has got three qualities of Shabda, Sparsha and Rupa. तथा आपो रसेन गुणेन असाधारणेन पूर्वगुणानुप्रवेशेन च चतुर्गुणाः. Then the apaha, the water, with its own quality of rasa, taste, and the previous qualities of the previous elements, Akash, Vayu, Agni. So, water has got four qualities: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, and Rasa. Then, Tatha Gandha Gunena Purva Gunanu Praveshena Cha Pancha Gunaha Prithvi. Then the Prithvi with five qualities: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Gandha is its own quality, and the four of the previous elements. So in this way, the five great elements were born. From that Purusha alone. Tatha taihi eva bhutaihi arabdham indriyam dviprakaram buddhyartham karmartham cha dasha sankhyakam. So from these five elements, the 10 indriyas were born. The five buddhi indriyas or jnana indriyas, which has got the capacity to hear the shabda, touch the sparsha. So shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, it can comprehend. They were born from the five great elements alone. Then the five organs of actions were also born from these five great elements: hands, legs, speech, organ of excretion, organ of urination. So the five organs of actions were also born. Then tasya cha ishvaram antastham samshaya sankalpa lakshanam manaha. Then was born manaha, mind, the thinking faculty, having the ability to think. Sankalpa, vikalpa, it thinks, it gets doubt, then again it thinks. So sankalpa, vikalpa thinks of the various pros and cons. So that ability is there in that mind. So mind is a thinking faculty. So in this way, evam praninam karya karana cha srishtva. So this body and the senses and the mind was created. So evam praninam karyam karanam cha srishtva tat stityartham vrihi yavadi lakshanam annam. So to maintain this body and the senses and the mind, food is required, nourishment is required, because they constantly act. So constant energy has to be supplied to the senses and to the mind. And that energy comes from food. So that food was also created. Vrihi, yavadi, lakshanam, annam, like the grains and all. plants, grains, food was created. Then tatascha annat adyamanat viryam samarthyam balam sarva karma pravritti sadhanam. And through this anna, the one who eats that anna, he gets the strength, the power, the virya, the strength, and which is the bala, the samarthyam, the ability to perform action. Sarva karma pravritti sadhanam, that force, that power to perform all types of action. It comes from the food which is eaten, so that virya, that strength, is also born. Then, tad viryavatancha praninam tapaha vishuddhi sadhanam sankiryamananam. So the person who is born and functions in this world, perform various types of actions depending on his shraddha. He moves in various directions, performing various types of actions. And through these different types of actions, fulfilling his desires becomes very, what you call, filled with lots of impurities also, running around in different directions, develops different types of impurities. So in order to remove these impurities and to set this jiva, this person, on the path towards moksha, from here onwards, Bhagwan also creates what is called tapa. So tad viryavatam cha praninam tapaha vishuddhi sadhanam sankiryamananam. So those who have become impure and wants to now drop all negativities and attain that supreme, Bhagwan also created tapas, austerities. Different types of these austerities, sadhanas, which purifies the antakarana. So vishuddhi sadhanam, it purifies the individual. So tapas was created. Then mantraha. Then Bhagwan also created mantras. The Vedas were also born from that Param Purusha. Mantras. Tapaha vishuddhantaha bahihi karanebhyaha karma sadhana bhuta rig yajus sama atharvangi rasaha tataha. So, one who has become pure through tapas, to set them on the right direction, the great Vedas were also born from that Supreme Purusha. Therefore, the Vedas are of the nature of that Purusha only. And Vedas are also Anadi, Ananta, Apaurusheya. They are Anadi, beginningless, Ananta, vast, Apaurusheya, not of human intelligence. It is not a product of human intelligence. Vedas are not written by human beings, whether of present time or of the past. They are expressions from that Supreme Brahma alone. Humans become just a means to express those Vedas. They are not the authors of Vedas. So Rig Ved, Yajurved, Samaved, Atharvaved were born. Then from these Vedic mantras, the structured karmas were also born. So karma, Agnihotradi Lakshanam, like Agnihotra karma, specific karmas were given by the Vedas depending on the various varna and ashrama and the gender and the age. Different types of karmas are advocated to different beings. So karmas were also born. And when one performs this karma, then one gets the result as the lokas. The different lokas are the results of karma. So the various lokas are also born. So tataha lokaha, karmanam phalam, the result of karma. And teshu cha shrishtanam praninam nama cha devadatta yajnadatta ityadi. And in the lokas, when we are born, we have our own name, like Shankaracharya writes, like Devadatta, Yajnadatta, like that. So name was also born. So evam eta kalaha praninam avidyadi dosha bija pekshaya shrishtaha tenirika drishti shrishta iva द्विचन्द्रम मशक मक्षिकाद्याः स्वप्नदृक् स्रष्टा इव च सर्वपदार्थाः पुनः तस्मिन् एव पुरुषे प्रलीयन्ते हित्वा नामरूपादि विभागम्. So all this creation happened, and the interesting thing about this creation is that no doubt it has all come from that Purusha. The material world also has come from that Purusha, and all the beings are also, they have come from that Purusha, and these beings are infinite in number. All these beings are infinite in numbers. And all these beings, what we call jiva, are infinite in number. And each of these beings, they have their own vasanas, their own desires. And in order to, means they have their own shraddha. So in order to give field to these shraddhas, the entire world is created. So the Shakti behind this world is that of that Purusha. But this Shakti also is associated with the avidya and the desires of all beings. So, with the association of this Shakti and the desires, this world is created. Means that Maya, Bhagwan Shakti called Maya, within it has got this avidya of all the beings. And based on that, the world is created. To give an example, like the mother has got these 3 children, and the 3 children, they have their own desires, what they want to eat. One fellow wants to eat some fruits. Another fellow wants to eat some vegetables. The third fellow wants to eat uh, some what? Some pizza. So 3 children, they have 3 different desires. Mother is not interested to eat anything. Mother is fasting. And the 3 children, they have 3 different desires. They have desires to eat, but they don't have the capacity to make that food, to prepare that food, to obtain that food. And mother has got the capacity to obtain that food, but she doesn't have desire. So the desires of the children and the Shakti of the mother, when they come together, the food for the children are born. Similarly, Ishvara doesn't have any desire. He is not interested to have this world and all this jhamela. But he has got Shakti. He has got power, infinite power. And the jivas, they don't have any power, but they have lots of desires. Ye bhi chahiye, wo bhi chahiye, everything they want. So the desires of the jivas and the Shakti of Bhagwan, Maya, come together, and this world is produced through that Shakti. So that is what Bhagwan Shankaracharya writes, Evam eta kala praninam avidyadi dosha bija apekshaya. All these kalas are based on the avidyadi dosha bija. The dosha bija of all these beings. So Shrashta, Taimerika, Drishti, Shrashta, Iva, Dvichandra, Mashaka, Makshikadhyaha, Swapna, Shrashta, Iva. So all this creation has come, like we see 2 moons because of our defects, or we see the Swapna because of our defect. Similarly, because of our desires and all, we see this creation as a different entity. But when we become pure, then we will recognize that Purusha, and once we recognize this Purusha, this world will get dissolved. In the sense, the world will become Purushamay. See, for example, this pot. When I have desire to store something in the pot, then my focus is on this pot, on the shape. But when the desire is not there, I'm not interested to have any activities through this pot, then for me it is just clay, nothing else. It is only clay. Similarly, for an enlightened person, this world with so many different varieties is nothing but that Purusha alone. Purusha eva idagam sarvam yad bhutam yadcha bhavyam. Everything is that Purusha. So this is a very beautiful thing which the teacher has revealed. How the 16 kalas are born from that Purusha who is of that 16 kala rupa. So from one standpoint, the 16 kalas are seen as different. But when we gain the vision of that oneness, we will know that all these kalas are nothing but that Purusha alone. So how that vision can be gained with an example the teacher reveals in the next mantra that we will see in our class on Monday. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again, contemplate, meditate, understand, and we meet again soon. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siya Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari